Zion Law School. Welcome to this live stream. Today I'm going to talk about the Esoteric Gospels, all right? But I'm not going to go into a very deep conversation with it. Right now, my goal is only to introduce the topic, because I've decided that I'm going to start talking about it, all right? So, the Gospels. So everyone should know by now that I do not follow the Gospels, okay? I don't follow any religion. I'm not married to any religion. I'm not married to any dogma or theory, okay? To start off with. In Scripture, I see natural law, and I see Bible stories as only stories that must be filtered through Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section and I will answer them, all right? Okay, so all the stories have to be filtered through Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. That should be very obvious. Okay, that should be very obvious if you understand Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. Nothing new with that, right? All right. So as I said, and I always say this, hi there. You have a book? Excuse me, yo. I like your book. Wow. What's that? What's your name? Yeah? You want this one? Live stream. It's a live stream. You like it? Yeah. I'm DrYasapa. Me. What's your name? Yeah, I'm DrYasapa. There's a little boy who came over to talk to me. Very cute. Let's see. I'll be back in a second, y'all. Hold on. Such a cute book. Very good. Very good. Good job. Very good. Yay! Good job. Wow. Good job. Yeah, good job. This one, yeah, I like it. And this one too, yes. Very good. Good job. Very good. Good job. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It fell. It fell. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you next time. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. All right, so let's go back into it. So all Bible stories are just that. They're Bible stories. I wasn't there. You were not there. Everything has to be filtered through Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. The only thing that we can verify through evidence are natural laws. All right? Natural laws. Okay? Are the natural laws. That's why I focus so much on natural law in our Saturday 10 a.m. class, our Saturday live online 10 a.m. class. I focus on natural law. There's no way to avoid it because the Most High's instructions are at their essence natural law. If you don't understand that, if this is new to you, go back. We'll come to our Saturday, our live online Saturday class every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you will learn. You'll be presented with the evidence. You'll be presented with facts. Now, y'all have to remember, facts change, right? Facts change as new information is found. But the question becomes, how do you know what's a real fact and how do you know what's not real, right? Because we know that the people who are in power They have manufactured facts. That's part of how they do things, right? That's part of the magic that they practice to create a false reality for you. All right. So you think you're looking at facts when you're not. It's just something they made up. All right. And because they're bringing it forth through their universities and other experts who you have been trained to accept as authority figures in your life, you believe it. And hence, you fall victim to their spell. You fall victim to their spell. They cast spells using letters, using grammar rules, all right? Using grammar. You write an article, you write a book using what? Letters and grammar rules. Understand how spells are cast now? Pretty simple, right? So they cast a spell on you. Now these spells can also be what? They can also be oral, because they're using words, right? They're using words. Words have meaning, and there are rules that govern oral conversation, all right? In fact, the vast majority, it may be 70, 80%, I don't remember the exact percentage, but 70, 80% of oral conversation is actually body language, tonality, and things like this. In other words, only 20 to 30%, it may even be 10%, I don't know, I haven't looked at this in a long time. Maybe only 10 to 20, 10 to 30% of spoken language is actually words, all right? So y'all analyze that. Put 2 and 2 together and let me know what you come up with. All right? This is a profound realization if you spend the time to analyze this and see what it is that I just told you. All right? But you have to do that for yourself. We've gone through this in our Saturday live class. All right, we've gone through this. This is a profound topic, a life-changing piece of information if you understand it, if you are willing to do the analysis, and you can come to the same conclusions. All right? All right. So anyway, that's that. Now, when you deal with the Gospels, so here's the history of the Gospels. According to my understanding from more than one source, the Gospels were written initially by the ancient Egyptians. The Gospels, let me repeat that. The Gospels were written by the Coptic Egyptians. Okay? They are Egyptian or Kemetic documents, period. The Gospels, according to Freemasonry at the highest levels, the person who brought this forth is the author of the Devil's Pulpit. The Devil's Pulpit, as everybody knows, is a foremost authority on astrotheology. If you didn't know, you better ask somebody. But you can do better than that by reading, comprehending, and analyzing the Devil's Pulpit itself. The free link to the PDF is in the description area of this video. If you are not able to do that, well, it only means that you need to acquire skill sets. Those skill sets that allow you to do it. That's what the Streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course is there for. That's what our Saturday class, 506 The Curses course, is there for, to help you build those skill sets, the skill to ask questions, critical questions, and to develop your analytical skills and your presentation skills and your public speaking skills. You get all of that with us, all right? The links are in the description area of this video. All right, so according to the author who achieved the highest levels of Freemasonry, according to him, the Gospels were translated out of the Coptic Egyptian script into Latin. Make your correlations. Translated from Coptic Egyptian into Latin. You should be thinking what? Well, who was it that wrote and spoke Latin? Moors, right? Moors. Who were the first popes of the Roman Catholic Church? Put two and two together. Make correlations. What is Roman law? What is maritime law? What is Christianity? What's the relationships, right? Make your integrations and correlations. The Gospels were translated from Coptic Egyptian into Latin. All right, into Latin. So put this on your timetable. Now remember, chronology is not something you should be married to. Okay? All right? For many, many reasons. So put this in your timeline or on a timeline. Latin. When did Latin appear? All right? So that gives you an idea about your timeline, about chronology. From Latin, the Gospels made its way up into Europe, got in the hands of the Goths and the Vandals. So who are the Goths and the Vandals in history? What are they known to have done? What's the relationship to the Roman Empire? What kind of people were they? What was their character? Were they nice, kind people? Or were they animalistic and warlike? What is the character? What was the character of the Vandals and Goths? And who are they today? Who are they today? All right? So the Goths and the Vandals got their hands on the Gospels, and it was through, my understanding of this, it is through Constantine that you see Christianity change its form into what you see it as today. It was Constantine who introduced the Christianity that you see today. Also, I believe y'all have to check on this. But if my memory serves me correctly, it was Constantine who said, let's put a man on the cross. Prior to that, there was no JC on the cross. There was no crucified JC in the shape form of a man. All right? Y'all got that? So that's the history of the Gospels. That is the real history of the Gospels according to the Devil's Pulpit, all right? The foremost authority on astrotheology. Who did what? Can you clarify your question, please? Who did what? The person in the comment section, who did what? Clarify your question, please. Or be more specific is what I'm trying to say, and then I'll answer your question if I can. All right, but it was Constantine who introduced this new type of Christianity. All right. Okay. Now, I've heard Dr. Clark say that also. I've also heard Dr. Walter Williams say that. So if y'all haven't bought his book, Dr. Walter Williams, go out and buy his book. Also, I think Dr. Ben talks on this topic about the Kemetic origins of Christianity. All right. So go out and buy their books. All right. Support their families. Buy their books. Okay, so if you want me to answer your question, you have to make it more specific, okay, and then I'll answer it. All right. Or y'all can call in. Actually, I don't know if I can live stream and take a call at the same time on the same device, but the call-in number is 530-554 9419. I can try. So if you have a question or a comment, feel free to call in, and if it works, then your call will be broadcast with the live stream. 530-554-9419. 530-554-9419. So y'all can call in your questions and comments too. All right. So again, it was Constantine who put the man on the cross. Constantine, put that on your timeline. Watch the video that I did with Dr. G and with Sarnetta. The title of the video is something like all Abrahamic religions are a hoax, or something like that. Y'all watch that. All right? Watch those videos. Okay? So that you can get things properly oriented in your mind. All right. So according to Freemasonry, at the highest level, at the highest degrees, the Gospels are a fairy tale. The Gospels are a remix of the celestial bodies, specifically what? The sun, as it makes its annual course through the sky. In other words, the sun going around and around its orbit, right? Okay, so the sun going around the ecliptic. The ecliptic is the sun's orbit. All right, go back and watch the videos. I've showed that illustrations probably 10 million times. Y'all should be experts on it. You should be. Don't devalue this information, the astrotheology videos that I've done. It's about 250 hours of astrotheology. Don't devalue it because it's free. Don't think it's nothing because it's free. Don't think it's nothing because it was done as a live stream and not an edited documentary. When you watch an edited documentary, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours on a big topic, you're not educated about it. You have some gist of what that topic is about. You don't have an education on it. You have an idea about it. All right. And then that idea has been filtered through the editors or the content creator, has been filtered through what they think is interesting, what they think will hold your attention, right? What they think you'll find entertaining. So you do yourself a disservice by watching all of these documentaries and thinking you have an education. You don't. You have a gist of what the topic is about, but you don't have any idea about the details. See, the devil is in the details, right? The devil is in the details. In order to know what you're talking about, you need to know the details, right? Otherwise, how are you going to use it? You can't perform any analysis. Okay, your analysis is just going to be guesswork. But you'll never know because you don't know the details. See, you're fooling yourself. All right, so don't devalue these live streams. All right, some of them are long, but this is not for entertainment. This is to break the God spell. Break the God spell means you receiving a proper education on the topic. Break the God spell means you learn the details. Everything that's in the book, I've read it to you when we did the readings. I've explained sentences and paragraphs that are difficult, because a book is a very difficult read. 99% of the people could never even make it past the first 2 or 3 chapters. If you don't believe me, go crack that PDF and start. and see how far you get. All right. Now, as I always say, check YouTube for other videos on the Devil's Pulpit. You'll see that it's scanty and few. You might find videos 15 minutes, 30 minutes. All right. Now, how are you going to talk about the Devil's Pulpit? How are you going to talk about astrotheology in 30 minutes, or even an hour, or even 100 hours? You cannot. So anyway, I've provided you with a proper education on astrotheology. Don't devalue it, as I said, because it's free. All right. Exercise some self-discipline, some commitment, dedication, hard work and dedication. Suffering. Education requires some suffering and some sacrifice, and quite often a whole lot. And if you're really going to do it properly, you're going to suffer a lot, and you're going to sacrifice a lot, because you got 24 hours in a day. All right, you got 24 hours in a day, and it's up to you how you use it. All right. So to gain mastery and competence over anything requires first a decision and then a commitment of time, right? But when you get really skilled and you get really good, then what takes other people, well, let me rephrase that. You'll be able to learn and master information in 30% of the time that it would take other people at your same educational level to do it. You can do it in 30% of the time. I know for a fact, because I've done it. Right? You'll get a lot of jealousy and hate because of it, right? A lot of people will try to sabotage you, but you'll be doing everything that they're doing, but it takes you 30% of the time. You might be better than me. It might take you 25% of the time. All right? But that's the way it goes. But that comes with practice and dedication, right? Practice and dedication. Effort, investment, finance, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to think about things. You have to ponder things, okay? That takes time. But anyway, we got off topic. So let's go back into it. So we left off at, where were we? Where were we when I got off on a tangent? Astrotheology. Yeah, astrotheology. So the author is telling that the Gospels are only fairy tales, and these fairy tales are incantations. These fairy tales are charms, they are spells, and the purpose of these fairy tales is to capture your imagination and make you a coward and a chump and a slave to the dark priesthood. All right? That's the purpose for you. That's the purpose for you. Okay? But astrotheologically, the Gospels tell the story of the sun as it travels into each zodiac sign. The Gospels tell the story of the sun as it travels along its orbit, along the ecliptic, into each of the 12 zodiac signs. All right? And then the Gospel takes on the attributes and the characteristics of that zodiac sign. There are 12 apostles. There are 12 apostles. Right? There are 12 apostles. In my Father's abode, there are many mansions. In my Father's abode, there are many mansions. What is that abode? Well, first of all, that is the most literal rendering of that verse, right? The JC spoke. That is the literal meaning. Okay, so we talk about literal, we're talking about etymology. Okay, so you need to understand connotative linguistics, denotative linguistics, all right, etc., 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 that we always talk about in our astrotheology videos and that we always talk about in our Saturday class. So you got your work cut out for you, but it's fun. It's fun, and you're talking about a way to take your mind off your problems and to add some spice in your life. The way to do it is learning this information that I'm sharing with y'all now. You have plenty things to distract you from your problems. And you'll enjoy pondering over these things. Okay? You really, really will. It's going to change your life for the better immediately. All right, so you need to understand these things. In my Father's abode, there are many mansions. So first of all, who is the Father? Who is the Father of the Gospels? Well, I can assure you the Father of the Gospels is not the Most High, and it is not the Creator, of whom is spoken about in our instructions from the Most High. That's right. So what are the instructions in the Most High? In religion, y'all call it the Mosaic Covenant. Y'all call it the law. Right? A more accurate rendering is instructions. Most people should know that already. And if you don't know that, go ask your teacher, whatever congregation or camp or assembly or church you're in, go ask them why you don't know that, why they never taught you that. All right, in my Father's house, in my Father's abode, there are many mansions. That mansion is a zodiac sign. There are many mansions. How many mansions? There are 12. 12 mansions, possibly 13, y'all, possibly 13. All right, but we'll go with 12. Okay, in my Father's abode, there are many mansions. In fact, there are 12 mansions. So what is this abode? The abode is what? What they refer to as space. The abode is what we refer to as space. Space. All right? And in space, there are 12 constellations. In space, there are 12 constellations. That's what's being said. So when the sun goes into one constellation, it's going to take on the character and attributes associated with that constellation. For example, like Scorpio or Cancer. Or the balance. The balance is what? Libra. Or Virgo, the Virgin Mary. Y'all understand? So the sun will enter into one constellation, pass through that constellation, and then exit that constellation, and then enter into another one. Understood? All right, excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so this is the Gospels, and the reason why the Gospels were prepared as allegorical stories is because of a threat. According to the author, the priests were trying to preserve the astronomical record, the knowledge base, and their lives were being threatened. And so they wrote these allegorical stories that only someone who's trained in the topic, someone who knew the topic very well, would be able to decipher these allegorical stories, these fairy tales. Understand? In other words, you'd have to have had the training. You would have to have had the training in the Egyptian educational system, the mystery system, if y'all want to call it that. By the way, the person you call Moses was what? What was he? He was an Egyptian high priest. How do we know that? Because Moses was trained in all of the ways of the Egyptians. The only way for that to happen is for Moses to have gone through That's right. You got it right. Moses to have gone through the Egyptian mystery system, which is nothing more than the Egyptian educational system that all priests had to go through. All right? Whether he believed it, accepted it, is a whole other story, but he went through their educational process. Now, according to Dr. Ben, I think I learned this from Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben says that, if I'm correct, all right, don't get offended if I'm not, but if my memory serves me correctly, students would enter into the educational system at 7 years old, and they would spend the next 40 years, that's 40, the next 40 years receiving an education in mathematics, in engineering, in law, in all of the liberal arts, so cosmology, so on and so forth. All right, medicine, okay, all of the sciences for the next 40 years. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand how you've been dumbed down K through 12 and then you're done with your education? Bachelor's degree, 4 years. All right, so that's 16 years, right? Well, let's say 7, so K is 1, and then 1 to 12, first grade to 12th grade, it's 13 years plus 4 years for your bachelor's degree. That's what? 13 and 4, 17. Usually 2 years or 1 year for your master, depending on the subject matter and whether or not what your undergraduate is. So that's going to take you into 18 or 19 years, right? And then probably what, 4 or 5 years for your PhD? If you're lucky and they don't hold you until they're finished using you. That happens to a lot of people at the PhD, y'all, at the PhD level, all right? That's why a lot of people who have a PhD, they don't want to hear nothing. They don't want to hear nothing from somebody who has not done what? Paid their dues. This is what the thinking is of people who have terminal degrees, a doctorate degree, right? These people have sacrificed. Many have been taken advantage of, used and abused, verbally and financially. That's right. Y'all don't realize what the struggle is. Now, some people are lucky. They get in a PhD program and then they get out. 4 or 5 years. There might be even some people who are able to do it in 2, depending on what the course is, right? They can get it in 2. All right? But I'm telling y'all a real deal. You get into a PhD program and your committee or the professor who you're working with is lazy, and he puts all the work off on you, and he extends and as a result of that, your PhD is extended. Now you're going to be in there for the next 7 years, slaving for this guy. And if you don't, well, if you don't, bye-bye PhD and all that time and money gone. All right? I don't even know if scholarships for PhDs are still widespread. In a lot of cases, you got to pay for it. That trend probably has continued and expanded, right? Because it's a source of money. But there was a time when you couldn't get a PhD unless you contributed something significant to the field, right? I think those days are pretty much done and over with, though. All right, so my point is this. These people who you're working for and who have ownership of any work product that you produce in your PhD program, right? Some of them won't even list you on the articles that they publish. They won't put your name on them, all right? That's how raggedy a lot of these people are. Okay? So imagine that. You did all the work, but your name doesn't even get put on the article. But you got somebody, let's say a hybrid or a Paleolith, who did nothing, comparatively speaking, to what you did, and then their article, with their name appears on the article. So y'all don't know what type of sacrifice somebody has made, what type of suffering and hardship they had to endure to get that PhD. Y'all don't know. All right? You just don't know. So when somebody doesn't want to hear you, if you don't have a PhD, right? They don't want to hear you, or you feel like they're being condescending. You don't know where that person came from. All right? They. I'm not defending them, saying that negative attitude or harsh attitude is right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they have their own baggage. So you should try to understand things from their perspective, okay? Because you haven't had that same experience that they have. But anyway, imagine if you're a woman and you just had a baby and you're in a PhD program, and you get a professor and a committee who's mistreating you, okay? You got to spend time away from your child. You got to take time off to try to be connected to your child. You know, maybe you're going to lose your marriage. You're in a situation where you have to decide between the PhD program and your marriage, or the PhD program and your relationship with your child. And these people working you to death. You're not getting paid. You're not even getting your name put on an article that you did most of the work for, or most of the research for, right? Huh? You know how that feels? So people become hard. People can become hard because their experience tells them that you need to rise up and perform, and whatever obstacles come in your way, you need to deal with them just like they did. And what you're talking about is nothing compared to what they suffered through. That's what a lot of these people are thinking, y'all, okay? That's why you should respect people who have made that sacrifice, okay? At least try to be understanding, okay? And if you get to know them as a person, you'll see that they're just like you. They're just like you. That's why they got the attitude that they do, because they feel like they've been mistreated. Same way you might have an attitude when you feel like you're being mistreated, right? But it can make you very, very tough. Thank you. It can make you very tough. So on top of that, where were we at, y'all? Were we at 17 years? So on top of that 17 years, add 4 more, that takes you to 21. Or if you're unlucky, trust me, a lot of our people are. If you're, I'm talking about full-time. I'm not talking about part-time. I'm talking about full-time. If you are unlucky, maybe that PhD gonna take you 7 or 8 years. All right? Blood, sweat, and tears. 7 or 8 years, blood, sweat, and tears. So 17 plus 3 is 20, plus another 4, you got 24 years. You got 24 years in. All right? 24 years in of formal education. Plus whatever you do beyond that. Okay? Plus whatever you do beyond that. Y'all see? 24 years. Okay? 24 years you got invested. Time, energy, money. Sacrifice your whole life. Sacrifice all your relationships. You sacrificed everything to get to where you are. Okay? And then you go on something like Sonetta. And then some barbershop scholar starts to insult you or talk to you any kind of way. Right? So y'all So nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be disrespected like that. But that's how it's looking. All right, for somebody who's invested most of their time, energy, and money into receiving a proper education. So going back to the topic, so 40 years in the Egyptian educational system / mystery system. Why mystery? Why mystery? Why mystery? Because it looks like you're doing magic. But really, what are you doing? You're using algebra and geometry. You're using architecture. You're using other sciences to create technologies that to people who are unlearned looks like magic. The mystery system. Oh, how he do that? How he do that? How him do that? See? Mystery system. The mystery is the technology. What is that? Wow. How is he moving like that? Right? What is that? See, it looks like magic. It's a mystery how you did it. But if you get a proper education, it's no longer a mystery, it's just science, right? It's just the science. You just mastered natural law. You mastered natural law, right? You become a master of architecture. You become a master of cosmology. You become a master of medicine. You become a master of law. Huh? Y'all see? So they mastered everything. Whereas today you master one topic. Maybe you get a PhD in biology. Maybe you become a medical doctor. Maybe you become a lawyer. You get a doctorate degree in law, a JD. Right? Maybe you get a doctorate degree in finance. Maybe you get a doctorate degree in what? You name it. You get a doctorate in anything. Okay? Right? Not everything, but one thing. Okay? So did they trap people, get people strung out in the PhD program, use them and abuse them so that they could make their life easy? And have you up in the Egyptian, instead of you graduating at 47, you graduate at 51? Did they do people like that? Probably not. Maybe some people, but I just can't see that happening during those times. Because you gotta remember, the people, the character and the culture of the people today is due to their indoctrination, social engineering programs, and religion. Okay? This is not natural behavior that y'all see right now. It is not natural behavior. All right? The Paleolithic hybrids are in power, and we know what their character is. We know what their nature is. All right? So all of this stuff that you see, this is not natural. Okay? So go back in time before they even came on the scene. You would have seen more natural behavior. All right? So I would think you could have gone through that system and got out in 47, right? You got out at 47 years old. Okay? All right, now I lost my thought again. Oh, okay. So here we are. Yeah, Moses. So Moses was trained in all of the ways of the Egyptians. Okay? Moses had a knowledge of astrology, cosmology. He was a master. That's right, he was a master. Does that hurt your feelings, Hebrew Israelites? Go back and read it. Go back and read it. All of the knowledge of the Egyptians, that means that he would have understood what? Geometry, algebra, trigonometry, calculus, that he would have understood how pyramids are designed and built. He would have understood that. He would have been a master of it. Master of architecture, a master builder, right? All right? He could build it. He understood it. Whatever sciences that the Egyptians had, like vibrational healing and all of this other kind of stuff, Moses was a master of it. Okay? Anyway, let's continue. All right. So now, the Esoteric Gospels. The Gospels were initially intended to tell the story of the sun's course annually throughout the sky. In other words, it's elliptic. The elliptic is the orbit. All right. Some people don't like when I repeat myself, but I repeat myself not for me, but for the learner, for the scholar. Right? If I'm willing to put the energy and effort into repeating myself, it's because I want you to be exposed to hear it again, so that you remember. All right? So that you hear it again, and so that you remember, and so that you know what's important, what you should spend time on learning. All right? So when you hear a professor repeat himself, there's a reason for that. He's helping you. He's teaching you. All right. So for those of you who are who don't understand that, you see something wrong with it, well, either go someplace else or sit back and learn and stop being so negative. All right. All right. Go somewhere else if you don't like it here. All right. And I mean that. This is not for fun. This is not for fun. Okay, so here we are. All right. So the purpose was to preserve the astrological knowledge and to prevent themselves from being murdered, right? To prevent the priests themselves from being murdered. Okay, so you would have had to understand this information in order to be able to interpret the gospel fairy tales. Everybody understand that? That's one level. The second level is the gospel stories taken as being historical. The gospels taken as being historical. This is the religion. This is the religion, or the religious level or dimension, however we want to look at it. Okay, so remember, there is the astrology or cosmology. That's one dimension or one level, right? I just described that. The next level is the religion, where people believe that these stories, these allegorical stories are historical, and they're involved in worship. They're involved in worship of an external deity or external deities, whereas with the astrological, the cosmological dimension or level, the concern or the effort is with observation, understanding. Okay? You put your energy, your effort into that, and you learn. There's no worship of any external deity in that. You know that you are the power. But again, for emphasis, with the religious component, the focus is the worship of JC, the Christ figure, and the deity who's known as the Father. All right? And then there's a belief that the gospel stories are historical. And this is the the funny part when you think about it. The religious leaders, the different denominations of churches, in order to create a doctrine that's distinctive, they'll say that some of these stories are what? Are illustrations. In other words, they're allegorical, they're illustrations. And then they'll say that the others are historical, they're real. Okay? So you, as a religious leader, or as a religious organization, can pick and choose which stories are allegorical or for illustration or are visions, and which stories actually happen in real life. Y'all see the hypocrisy of that? Well, why not just say it's all allegorical? Or why not just say it's all real and historical? How are you going to pick and choose? Huh? This even applies to Moors. There are some Moors who say, oh, the Bible is nothing but made up stories. But then they'll say that Moab is real, that the Canaanites are real. Okay, you can't have it like that. You just can't pick and choose what's real and what's not real. It's not intelligent to just say something because you heard other people say it. You have to have a basis for it. What's your evidence? You can't say JC is real and that Ruth the Moabitess is real, but then you say that the bloodline or the family line that they came from never existed. It's not intelligent. Y'all see that? Wake up, Dorothy. Wake up, Dorothy. It's all or nothing. Or filtered through Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8, you have a basis, you have evidence to support what you say. All right? It just can't be whimsical or because it sounds good or to have a distinctive doctrine so that you can have and get some followers, right? So you have something to teach and talk about that's different than other people. No, that's not, not good, y'all. Excuse me. Wow. I just ate a lime. Wow. This lime is so this lime is so sour that I'm having spasms in my vocal cords. As y'all can hear, let me drink some water. Wow. That was a sour lime. Let me put this thing down. That was a sour lime. So you cannot just pick and choose. All right. You're doing this. If you're picking and choosing, you're doing the same thing that the churches are doing. Picking and choosing, excuse me, which Bible stories are true, which are just visions, right? Excuse me, which are just visions. Woo, that was a sour lime. Which are just visions, which are allegorical. All right? Filter everything through Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. These are just Bible stories. All right? Do yourself justice, become educated in linguistics. Subscribe to 101 Ancient Ibaryath, our streaming online course, and take advantage of 506 The Curses course, which I teach every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, the scholars who are there, when you come in and observe, will also help you. All right, they will also help you. Okay, so you will succeed. You will learn. Nobody's going to be left behind. All right, you're going to hear multiple people's perspectives and insights, and you'll be able to relate, all right, to somebody there. So we'll all take time to help you understand and comprehend the subject matter. All right. So that's the religious side. So there is the astrotheology, where there's no worship of an external deity, but I, self-law, am master. I'm my own savior. I'm following natural law. I'm observing natural law, so on and so forth. Then there's a religious side where you're worshiping an external deity, or deities rather. And the churches and the teachers choose which gospel stories or which Bible stories are visions, which are allegories, and which are historical. Okay? You can create your own menu. Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, Church's Chicken, Popeyes, Taco Bell. Everybody can create their own menu, their own doctrine, right? And then there's the level or dimension of the Esoteric Gospels. The Esoteric Gospels How many of y'all have heard of the Esoteric Gospels? How many of you have heard of the Esoteric Gospels? The essence of the Esoteric Gospels is that the Christ figure is you. The Christ figure is you. Mind science. The Esoteric Gospels, the essence of the Esoteric Gospels are mind science. The ancient science of the mind. In other words, consciousness. I am all consciousness. I am all awareness. I am all creativity. I am all power. I am the great I am, the mind sciences, the Esoteric Gospels. Oh, thank you very much. The Esoteric Gospels. The Esoteric Gospels. You are the Christ. Excuse me. You are the Christ. You're your own savior. Now we've come all the way back to you're your own savior. Of course, the mind sciences in the ancient systems have been converted into religion. They've also been anthropomorphized and created into religion. So the Esoteric Gospels, again, are the mind sciences. So what's the purpose of mind? What's the purpose of mind? Where there's a difference between the brain. Y'all, that sour lemon still got me going. Wow. I probably need to goggle. So the brain, the physical brain is not your mind. The physical brain is not consciousness. But your physical brain is able to process consciousness, okay? Your physical brain is able to process consciousness, okay? Your physical brain is able to process consciousness. Just how that is is wow. You know what I think happened? I think the acid in the lemon irritated my tonsil. Yeah, because I haven't fully recovered from the upper respiratory infection that I got when I was in India when I had food poisoning. I think that's why my tonsil is spasming. I forgot about that. But anyway, please excuse me for the coughing and all of this stuff. But I haven't recovered yet. And I'm pretty sure that's what it is. The acid in that lime irritated my throat. So I'm having the spasm. But anyway, y'all, bear with me. Bear with me. Okay? It feels scratchy. Yeah, actually, I can feel the spasm. You know, I can feel the spasms. And I can feel it feels raw. But I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep on going with the information. Y'all just bear with me, okay? So Christ is you. Christ is you. In other words, the power that the Christ figure of the New Testament exercises is the very same power that you have within yourself to draw on. The Christ figure is you. Whatever the Christ figure, whatever miracle the Christ figure performed, you have the innate ability to perform the same miracle. This is the esoteric gospel, right? This is the esoteric gospel. The mind sciences. You see the mind sciences in today's world. What do you see it in? Success and achievement literature, and success and achievement personalities and heroes, for example, like Anthony Robbins, okay, like Napoleon Hill. Y'all know the story about Napoleon Hill. This is what I heard. I don't know if this is true, but this is what I heard. Andrew Carnegie shared with Napoleon Hill. I wish I could remember where I got this from. But anyway, in the upper levels of Freemasonry, they teach you them. Oh, I remember where I got this. This is from Kevin Trudeau. If y'all get a chance, go get it's an audio book. It's about 10, 12 hours. But it's a good investment of 10, 12. It may even be 13, 4, I don't remember. Maybe I'll say 10. But what is the name of that audio book? It's Kevin Trudeau, and it's called, man, it'll come to me. But anyway, Kevin Trudeau says that in the upper levels of Freemasonry, they teach you the mind sciences, okay? How to get what you want out of life using your own mind. Okay, using your own mind. How to get what you want. And there are people who are masters of it. So Kevin Trudeau came, and you all know they locked him up, right? For the work that he was doing. I think he's still in prison. I'm not sure. Okay, but they locked him up. Okay, so he shared that mind science. Okay, in this audio book. Oh man. Well, no, it's not an audio book. It's not an audio book. It's an audio recording of one of his training programs that he did on the topic. It's about 10 or more hours. But anyway, in that he says that Andrew Carnegie passed that information down to Napoleon Hill. And then Napoleon Hill used it as a basis of Think and Grow Rich, you know, the famous book that he wrote, Think and Grow Rich, and all of the other books that he published. All of that information he got from Andrew Carnegie, who got it from Freemasonry, and you see how Andrew Carnegie used it. Now, did these hybrid Europeans create these corporations from scratch, or did they steal the property and the assets from the indigenous people? Right? Did they steal it? And y'all know how they got it, right? Through force, through extermination, through some type of unlawful means. And then they took control. And then they created the toxic capitalistic system that we're in right now. All right, that's what I think. I think that these oil companies and these railroad companies, these were already in existence, and they came in and they took them. Right, they took them by force. And then they introduced this toxic capitalism that we see now. All right, but anyway, that's where the mind sciences come into it. That it's been preserved and protected in Freemasonry. All right, so this is all it is, y'all. That's all it is. But you can use those same mind science principles to have good relationships with people, if that's what your focus is on. You can use it to accumulate fiat. You can use it to accumulate land or real wealth. You can use it to accumulate anything or to be anybody who you want. This is the Esoteric Gospels. All right? Understanding and knowing that you are the Christ. Understanding and knowing that you are your own savior and you are the power. Psalms 82:6. Psalms 82:6, right? You are all God's. You are all God's children of the Most High. Huh? But anyway, I'm going to be talking about this topic more in depth. I'm going to be talking about the Gospels, as I go. But I want to make it clear so that I do not confuse anyone. DrYasapa does not follow the Gospels, and DrYasapa nor Zion Law School gets involved in any type of religion or religious doctrine. All right? Rather, we show natural law. We promote natural law because the Most High's instructions, which y'all call the Mosaic Law in religion, is natural law. All right? And when you return to natural law, good things start to happen in your life immediately. Okay, so that's who I am, that's what I do, and that's what Zion Law School is about. All right? So when I start talking about the Esoteric Gospels, you'll understand that I'm talking about what? The mind sciences, consciousness, the mechanics of consciousness, as recorded, as presented through the gospel. So there's 3 levels, right? There's the astrology, there's the astrotheology, let me correct that. There's the astrotheology, there's the religion, okay, the fairy tales, and then there's the mind science, aka the Esoteric Gospels. All right, so thanks everybody for subscribing to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course, our streaming course. This is the absolute most powerful course, most effective course where you can learn our ancient language, recover, reclaim your heritage, the Ancient Ibaryath, the Canaanite, Phoenician, Islam, to all of the Moors, and the entire house of Yasharallah. Step up your game. Step up your game. Subscribe now to 101 Ancient Ibaryath. Step up your game. There's no contract. Don't devalue this because you can get it for $10 a month. All right, it's $10 a month so that you can get it without any obstacles, without any excuse. So if you don't get it, you're rejecting your heritage. That is clear. Or maybe it's just not your time. Maybe it's just not your time. You need to continue getting beat up, used and abused in religion. Right? That's for you to decide. All right? So it's there for you. It's there for you. So if you're sitting on the fence, go ahead and jump, because you're jumping into a better life and a better situation. Okay? Don't be scared. Go ahead and subscribe. All right. Everybody is invited to the 506 Curses course. I teach that every Saturday at 10 a.m. Break the God spell, get educated, make informed educated decisions, become competent. All of these things begin with the Streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course and coming to the live online 506 The Curses course. 506 The Curses course every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Break the God spell. Break the God spell. Educate yourself. You decide, based on evidence and facts, what you're going to believe. Break the God spell. You owe it to yourself and to your family. There's no honor in being in an indoctrinated state of mind, living a fairy tale. There's no honor in that. All right, so the links to everything are in the description area of this video. We also we publish books on Ancient Ibaryath. If y'all want to support us, Zion Law School and or DrYasapa, you can buy our books for yourself, and you can buy them as gifts. Okay, you can buy them as gifts. So I'm the only person who's publishing Ancient Ibaryath books. All right, if y'all want to support my work in publishing the Ancient Ibaryath grammar book, if y'all want to support my work in translating the first 5 books of the Hebrew scriptures from Ancient Ibaryath into English, without all of the doctrine and the deception. If y'all want to see that with all of the Jeremiah 8:8 removed, to see what these documents really say, so I'll give it to you in the Ancient Ibaryath, and then I'll give it to you in the English. Okay, if you want that, you can support that work, right? That's a lot of work, y'all. That's a big project. All of these are big projects. And I shouldn't have to eat soy sauce and rice while I put these projects together. I should not have to be on a diet of soy sauce and rice while I put these projects together, because y'all don't support financially, all right? It takes time, energy, and effort to do this, okay? It's not a part-time thing, y'all, okay? And plus the state of mind, when you have people who are supporting you, you know you have support, you feel better. Okay, because it means people appreciate your work. So if y'all want to see that, consider supporting these projects. I'm DrYasapa from Zion Law School. You can you can show your support on our Cash App, which is $DrYasapa, $DrYasapa, DrYasapa. Show your support. Help me to help you reclaim your heritage. Help me to put these projects out, the Ibaryath grammar book and the translation of the first 5 books in the Hebrew scriptures into the Ibaryath, to remove the Jeremiah 8:8 and to show you what these texts actually say without the doctrine and deception. In other words, filter out all Jeremiah 8:8 occurrences. If y'all want to do that, you want to stand up like men and women, okay, and support your own, please consider using our cash. Thank you. Can I have, I would like to have one more tea. And wait, come back. Don't run. One more black coffee. Okay, one more, and then one more. Okay, thanks. They're so shy. I'm trying to order and she's running away. Because the reason is because they don't speak English, right? And it's kind of like embarrassing for them. Yeah. So it's not that they're being rude. It's just that they don't speak English, and so they feel a little bit humiliated, you know, or scared. Yeah, but that's throughout Asia, y'all. That's throughout Asia. Anyway, so stand up like men and women and support your own. When I say your own, I'm talking about All of you indigenous Moors, regardless of what nation you come from, the House of Yasharala or some other nation, right? We're all indigenous. We're all created from the soil. All right, we are in the same boat, y'all. If you're in the, if your family line comes from the Americas, you're recorded in history as a Moor. All right, you are recorded in history as a Moor. You are recorded in law as a Moor. You're recorded in law as a Moor, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. All right? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? The Treaty of Peace and Friendship, and what? And what? We the people, the preamble to the Constitution for the United States of North America. You're recorded in the preamble as we the people, the rightful heirs. The rightful heirs. Okay. So are you going to honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers? And step into that and walk in it? Or are you going to dishonor them? And you're not going to have access or the status of being we the people. You won't have access to the protection provided to you by our ancestors in the form of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. And treaties are the supreme law of the land. Wake up, Dorothy. Stop all of this foolishness arguing about religion, especially you Hebrew Israelites. Christians I can understand, right? I can understand the Christians. But y'all Hebrew Israelites, I cannot understand, right? I understand, but I have no forgiveness for you. Okay. All right. And why is that? Why is that? Because y'all read books, or at least you're supposed to. Well, actually, no, I can't even say that. Y'all are watching videos. Y'all watching videos. So maybe I understand too, because y'all still stuck on stupid. Hebrew Israelites, most of y'all still stuck on stupid, driving in reverse. You have another option too. You have another option if you're in North America. All right? You have another option. You can what? You can come in as what? A state citizen. Hey, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. You can come in as a state citizen, a citizen of one of the states, right? But why would you do that? Why would you come in as a citizen of one of the states? Right? When you're one of the people, we the people. They just gave me something totally that I didn't order. Y'all see that? It tastes like some type of processed. It tastes like Tang. Remember back in the day, y'all? I don't like it, but oh well. But why would you do that? Right? Why would you come in? But there are a lot of people who are doing it. And I don't criticize them. But I'm telling y'all the way I think. I'd rather come in honoring my foremothers and my forefathers with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship squarely working for me as my protection, because I am a Moor, ascending from the house of Yasharala. Y'all got me? And I am one of the people whose ancestors put that Constitution in place. All right? Who put that Constitution in place? I'm a beneficiary. I'm a rightful heir. I'm a rightful heir of all land, all resources, etc., etc. I am the subject matter and the substance of the law. That's right. I am the substance and subject matter of the law. All right. I'm the justice. I'm the sovereign. Y'all follow me? But whatever you choose to do, abandon that 14th Amendment citizenship status, all right? Abandon it. Okay? Abandon it. Honor your ancient foremothers and your ancient forefathers. Follow the Most High's instructions. Return to natural law. Abandon religion. Break the gospel. Do things because you know, based on evidence, because you're competent. Abandon religion. Abandon that state of mind called indoctrination. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Cash App, $, Dr. Yasapa, $, DrYasapa. And then PayPal is paypal.me/Zion Law School. Thanks for spending your evening with me, and I will see y'all on the next one.